Welcome, everybody, to Ferriphobe. I'm going to slightly change the introduction. Lights of Miiva, episode 36. My name is Samalander. I'll be your GM, and I have some players.
My name is Zergo, playing Lumi, the Circle of Stars druid.
Player name of Valric currently is having some microphone issues and will be typing instead of talking. So Valric playing the fighter, I said wizard, I don't know why. Fighter Elros.
Hi, I'm Suda, playing the bestest rogue to have ever rogued, and she feels a disturbance in the Force. Somebody died somewhere that she was supposed to kill.
I'm Inter. I'm playing the fast monk, Crier.
And I'm Ashes. I play the actual wizard, Eberkeet.
So, after spending some time researching both sewers and a certain amulet that the wizard has, the players, the characters met back up, had a little bit of a discussion, decided that they should go talk to the Nadra priest about this undead amulet and the deal that Eberkeet was seriously debating having. So the party, in fairly late in the evening, if not full night, headed over to the Temple of Nadra, had a very intense and tense discussion with the head priest there, who I don't know that I ever actually gave a name to, so that's fun. I should actually, name my NPCs. And managed to break the curse upon Eberkeet and then restore Eberkeet's digits because they were no longer alive. At the end of this conversation, you all decide to head back to the Tiasa Manor, which is well across town, and it is late, in order to sleep the night and perhaps tomorrow go and enter the sewer system and take care of the problem that the First Lord gave to you. First Lord, I have it. I'm reading the word. Julik gave to you in order to avail yourselves upon his circle of teleportation. It is late at night. You guys are all exhausted. Are you doing anything else this evening?
I guess we just go to the manor. Maybe have a chat there and drink.
Tiasa is like flagging at this point. You can tell that she's not usually up quite this late, and she's also like, she's super excited, but she's definitely flagging. She's like, okay, so tomorrow when should Oscar wake us up so that we can head over to the palace?
Why do we need to go to the palace?
So that you can start your mission to go into the sewers?
That's the only entrance?
I'm sure that Dad would like to know that you've taken him up on the offer, and also that you can prove that it's done, or that you're doing it. I mean, you don't have to. I suppose you could just go into the sewers and take care of the problem, and then come out and say, hey, we've taken care of the problem. But then anybody could have done that.
Oh, we could just cut off the left foot as proof.
Well,
They didn't usually leave a lot of things to take as evidence.
The thing that turned into a zombie really didn't have feet? So...
Well, yeah. How how late will your dad be actually there? Like
Tonight?
no, in the morning.
Oh, Dad, he'll be up and moving by like like she thinks kind of this time of year, about dawn. Sometime around dawn, usually eating breakfast, having a couple meetings, as you do in the morning.
Well, I guess you want to go there at dawn.
Right. She goes, like, sidles up to Risha a little bit and like pulls you back just a little bit, Risha, away from the group.
Huh?
So everybody give me perception, except for Risha, who's part of this conversation. And if you got higher than a 4, you hear this. So it would be really, really bad idea if I went with you guys tomorrow, right? Do you think it'd be okay if I came with you?
You stay here.
Don't come with us. Because I don't think I could cover your nose for long enough and fight at the same time.
Cover my nose?
It's the freaking sewers.
Oh, but and she's like whispering now, but everybody still hears it. But I want to go on an adventure. I'm so close.
You could just walk outside the city gates and see what happens.
She's like, you could tell she's contemplating this, but it's the contemplation of somebody who's got just the barest bit of invulnerability of teenager youth left, but also I've never been outside of the city.
Then you definitely don't want to go in the sewers.
How does that's still in the city though?
I would not consider it the city at all.
And she kind of falls back behind you guys. Not very far. Just a couple of steps.
Tell you what, ask the local adventurers guild if there are any starting groups going on adventures. See if you can tag along with them.
There isn't one of those here. It's the city watch that does that. And my dad wouldn't let me join the city watch. Cause I think it's because it's dangerous and they would feel responsible for me to like protect me, and so that might be bad if they're trying to protect me while I'm trying to also help them out.
And you just answered the question of why you shouldn't go into the sewers tomorrow yourself.
Okay. How long have you guys been doing this? You never said.
Basically my entire life.
Your entire life. Wait. That's like you're how old are you?
Yes.
That's not an
When
answer.
was the last time we celebrated our birthdays?
I don't know. When do you celebrate your birthday?
Well, I haven't hit 21 yet. I know that.
Mm. So you're younger than me.
Barely. I'm sure.
Okay. Well, um, you guys can go back to the room you slept in last night, and I'm gonna go to my room. And if you need anything, just ask us. Hey, Oscar. Just ask Oscar. He can help. And yawns hugely. I'll see you in the morning. And she whispers something into Oscar's ear, and then heads off towards her room. Breakfast at dawn, then.
Please?
He nods. Very well. Have a good night. Yes, Lumi. It was just instructions. Make sure they're comfortable. Wake. They want to be up early. You absolutely heard what she whispered. With your plus 11. All right. You guys.
I'm just gonna say to Oscar as I'm shuffling off to bed, keep an eye on that one. She might want to sneak out after us tomorrow.
He nods. Wouldn't be the first time, although she's never had a group such as yourself. When she was just coming into her self, as it were, she had to be rescued several times from misadventures. I've kept her safe for 12 years. I'll keep her safe as long as I can.
And we'll do what we can to keep the city safe from whatever came flying down from the skies.
He bows to you guys, kind of a half bow at the waist, and says, "If you need anything, just ring the bell. I will be there shortly."
Thank you, and good night. Lumi will plod off to bed and actually kind of do the human version of cats. Twirl around 3 times, then lay down, then stretch and curl up.
Right. The house. Okay. Does anybody else have anything to do late this evening, or can I go ahead and move forward?
No, I'm going straight to bed.
Okay.
Straight to bed here.
I'll just go a bit. Fair enough. All right. So, you all fall into a fairly restless sleep. There are strange dreams are not exactly the right term. You're kind of in a strange semi-liminal space. There's vague forms. Skeletal hand reaches for Iberkeet and then poofs into fog. Could I have everybody please make me a charisma saving throw?
Ooh.
Cryor, you, through sheer force of personality, I guess, or not personalities, through sheer force of like your understanding of yourself, you take control of the tapestry of this place. And you find yourself surrounded by the ephemeral like after images of your friends, and you feel yourself in the center of a place of power. And you as you look around, it's very hard to make out. You see after images of shapeless forms in the middle distance. There are 3 of them that appear to be talking, or sorry, 4 of them that appear to be in a conversation that just doesn't quite make it to you. And the other 8 forms are still and silent. And then as you try harder and harder to make this place more real, it starts, the harder you try, the more it slips out of your fingers. And you find yourself reaching, like, as the door is being knocked on, you find yourself kind of reaching up out of your bedroll or bed or wherever you're sleeping. And like you're either trying to grasp at something that is just out of reach, or perhaps holding your hand to block a bright shining sun when you've stepped out of the shade. You're not quite sure which it is. And you all may take a short rest, and you are awake. And it is morning.
I'm going to write down what I've dreamt, and while I'm writing it down, I'm also explaining it to the group.
Okay. As you guys hear this, you all remember pieces of this, but none of you have the entire whole except for Kryar. And as he fills you in, you can see that you were possibly in and out of consciousness, or in and out of this place, wherever this place was, as it was happening. Could I have everybody make a history check, and everybody has disadvantage except for Kryar. Ooh. Oh.
I rolled a 19 and a 20.
Yep.
With the 20, Lumi, the description that you get from Kryar, like, this is not a place that exists on Ferriphobe. This is similar to, but not the same as, a place that the heroes of Ook described once to a passing bard. And they called it the Well of Ascension. And the only other thing that you remember is that the bard, the story told to the bard was a sad one, but not the sadness of like despair, but more the sadness of loss of a friend or a life well lived.
I relay that the dream area reminds me of the explanation of the well of ascension to and all that to the rest, especially Crier, so he can make notes.
Cryor and Iberkeet and Risha, you have all passed by this name written somewhere in either a story or a history or something. You've heard the name before, or you've read the name before, one of the two, but that is the as in depth as you have. All right.
And where did I read it or heard it?
Where did you this would have been in a collection of the history of the Heroes of Ook is where you would have read it or heard it. This would be a series of epics, plays, I guess, written by a bard some 20, like 15 years ago, probably 15 years ago. Your copy was a, do you think, not a great translation? Like a cheap translation.
Copied down way too often.
Yeah, well, and it's, you know, translated from a language and then translated from that language into another language and then translated from that language into another language and then translated from that language into Ook.
Yeah.
Or sorry, into Feyan, not Ook. All right, you guys awake to as the after the doors knocked, you guys can hear the maids kind of happy chatter in the background, and there's just the small smell, or the smell of bacon just slowly wafting into the room around the door frame. And there's also upon opening the door into this room, there is the smell of freshly baked like rolls, like a sweet is the wrong term, like a butter or dinner roll, where it's a little sweeter than normal, like a heavy bread, but it's like got a lot of fat in it, so it's a really like soft, yeasty bread. And that seems to just fill the house, along with the smell of bacon underneath. Suppose I should.
I'll guess I'll dive in.
5 more minutes.
Risha, come along, or you'll miss out on pocket bacon.
Pocket bacon?
Pocket bacon.
Bacon for the road is always good, I guess.
Yeah. Lumi will go and grab 3 slices of bacon, just wrap in some sort of napkin or cloth and shove in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And go ham on the rest.
There is food laid out on the table. Tiasa isn't around, but Oscar has set this table, and The maids are like refilling stuff. So there's an open bottle of like breakfast wine sitting on the table. There is a large plate of back bacon. So back bacon, British style bacon with the loin part instead of streaky bacon. And there is just a large basket full of a little smaller than fist-sized dinner rolls or rolls that have like a light brown top. They're you can tell that they were buttered just after they came out of the oven, so they have that kind of like soaked in butter. And then next to the rolls is a tray of about 15 different jellies, jams, other preserves, honey, and there is a large jug of Vougie milk, and the wine, and a smaller jug of what would be in season? Not a whole lot. Actually, apple cider would be in season. So there's a smaller jug of apple cider. Sorry, not hard, non-alcoholic apple juice. At the other end of the table, and Oscar says, as you guys kind of sit down, grab your bacon, grab other food, says, Miss Tiasa, our first daughter, Tiasa, regrets to inform you she will not be able to join you this morning, but she wishes you the best, and that I was to guide you to the palace when you're ready to go.
Lumi will just sigh. She's gone ahead to be there to join us, hasn't she?
I will check in before we leave, but she was acting as if she had not slept much or all last night. And when I checked in on her this morning, I got the like don't wanna and a pillow thrown at the door. So she may not. She is probably going to go back to sleep.
Okay. Well, Nom Nom and Lumi will be ready to go.
Elros is going to make himself a bacon sandwich with the rolls.
Ooh.
Take it
Awesome.
on the go.
Yay, Mike!
Yeah, just got it.
Awesome. All right. You guys eat. The food is like the rolls are fresh baked. The bacon is just off of cooking. It is decadent. I mean, you've had a couple meals here, but there's so much sugar and cream and similar on this table. Like none of you are used to this level of breakfast. Especially after the weeks of travel where you were eating dried and otherwise preserved rations.
Excuse me, fish?
And fish. Correct. I am corrected. But fish holds no candle to a well-fried piece of bacon. All right. After eating and collecting whatever food you wish, Oscar heads off and double checks on Tiasa, and then gathers at the front door and says, right this way?
Yeah, you go ahead. I'll do some morning stretches first.
I guess you do know your way to the palace.
I'll catch up before you hit it.
Oh, okay. The rest of you then?
Oh yes, lead the way.
All right. You guys head off. It's, I don't know, about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of walking. It's a long way to the palace from here. And the rain has stopped, and the streets are crowded in a way they haven't been before. You still see a relatively heavy presence of city guard out on the street. But people seem to be out and about and doing their business. Every once in a while, you see a manhole cover that somebody has taken and placed heavy objects on top of, or there are a couple of them where somebody has wedged some found some 6x6 lumber, big beam of lumber, and has wedged it over top of the manhole cover, between a couple of things to make sure that it is held down. But relatively short walk. You guys arrive at the palace. Upon seeing Oscar, the guards look at him, look at you, and go, "Business for the First Lord." Which Oscar replies and with a nod. These are the crew who are thinking about taking the job. Yep, I figured. So as you guys go, Cryer from the completely wrong direction just walks up behind you guys. All right. We can take them in. Please return to the first daughter. Make sure she is okay. Return to the first daughter. Sorry, not the second part of that sentence, just the first part. Return to the first daughter. We will take them in. And one of the gate guards motions for y'all to follow him.
Well, we follow, I guess.
You head in. This is it's a palace on top of a fortress, is the only way I can describe it. So inside of the main gate here, there's a couple of large practice fields. Some of them look like they are set up for one-on-one combat drills. There's another one that looks like it's for small and medium-sized group tactics. And there's just solid stone wall castle behind that, and then rising out of possibly building upon the top of the castle itself is a probably stone building, but somebody has taken the time to plaster the walls so that it is even. So it's a white plaster or mortar spread evenly over the walls, and then just under windows, around windows and openings and some stuff like that, there's just paint in green and red that paints filigrees and other things around the window. This place is you have seen a building like this in Miiva, a couple of them. But they tend to be, well, at street level, and B, just a little more run down than this is looking. Like, just being on street level, people will bump into the building and cause bits of the plaster to break off, and so you'll see a spot where it's been patched separately from the other thing, and you may not be able to perfectly tell, but if you like get close, you can see the unevenness of it. From the grounds, as far as you can tell, this building is pristine, sitting on top of this castle. And you are led into one of the Sallyport human doors inside of this castle, and it's a well-lit space. You are in a well-lit space. Because there's no windows, you see sconces that have a magical flame light adorning this place in such a way that it like well lit, nice stone tile floor, but there are also carpets on the floor to kind of soften the echoey nature of this sort of place. And you are led through several hallways, up a couple of flights of stairs, and just to make sure you are properly awed by the beauty that is the mansion on top of this place, you're led out onto the roof of the fortress, and before you rises a probably you're up several stories on top of this castle, right? And above, in front of you, rises at least a 3-story building. In the early morning sun, the light shining off of it is nearly blinding from this angle. And before you stands the largest wooden doors you have ever seen, with sconces on either side of the door that look like they are like giant braziers, but you don't see any smoke coming out of them. And in this light, you don't necessarily see any light coming out of them. And you're led towards the front door, and just before you arrive, the doors like creak open and swing wide, and there are rows of armor and a giant wide hallway. And the guard goes, the First Lord is awaiting your presence at the top of the stairs, or in the room at the top of the stairs.
Rightio. Thank you.
After you step in, the guard nods, and the doors behind you, and there's a definite thud as they close. And there is a wide double, like straight ahead of you is a like large art piece with doors on either side of it, and that is set between two like triple wide staircases going up probably 2 levels if this was a normal building, and then there's another double set of doors that look to have like elaborate brass inlay in them at the confluence of these stairs at the top.
Well, I sure hope they lead us out, because I am lost.
Out
the
is
doors-
just down the stairs through the ginormous doors. Knock, knock, knock.
There is, as you knock on this door, there is a echo that sounds through this room. Your knock should not have been this loud. And on the third rasp of your knuckle, the doors open, and inside you see a 50s man, tall, possibly gone to weight, but not not so much. So he's not rotund, but definitely carrying, 40 pounds, 20 kilos more than he should. He is sitting behind a desk. He's got his hands, like his elbows are on the chair. His hands are just like resting, crossed over each other on the pad in front of him. And he's just looking at you, taking your measure, as it were.
Morning. We're here for the job to scout the sewers. We'd like to get started.
Tell me, why should I trust you? And you see underneath his hands a wanted poster. Familiar looking.
Well, we haven't done anything wrong anywhere. We've been accused of doing some misdeeds, but we have done the contracts that we have accepted.
A mercenary group does not make you trustworthy. It means that you can be hired for coin. And the leader of the next city over has placed coin upon your head to bring you in for examination. And while it's a relatively paltry sum, it does make me wonder why I should trust you.
Well, you have something that we need, and you have a problem that you want to take care of.
He nods. Yes, my daughter told me that you're looking for a teleportation circle.
And our plan is to get to Miiva.
So not to Haifa then. Or to shoot. Where's the other city? Vali. But to some no-name village beyond the edge of civilized space. So civilized land.
It's the village where we were born in. And we want to help and protect that village.
Give me...
You may call it a no-name village on the edge of civilized lands. To us, it's home. Just as this city is your home.
I would like a diplomacy roll from somebody who's been talking.
What's your persuasion, Prior?
-1.
Well, mine is 0.
-1 or mine is 1?
-1.
There you go.
So it looks like I'm the one rolling.
All right. 13.
Should have seen the virtual dice. It landed cocked between 13 and 1, and I was wondering which one is it registering.
I wish I could watch the dice fall, but unfortunately cannot. He stands up, and with the exception of Zari, he is taller than the rest of you. And he walks around to the side of his desk. And he regards you kind of openly and says, "You are an unknown presence in my city. You have been hanging out with my daughter for several days now.
We have killed some of the things that flew in here.
He nods. That is what she said. And that is why I thought to offer you the opportunity to clear out the sewers, but if I am honest, I really want you to go.
And that's what we're trying to do. But we need your teleportation circle for that.
He thinks to himself, as if trying to come to a decision. And I couldn't convince you to just take your stuff and head to Volley. To walk out of the city, leave this place in the dust of the road behind you.
That was an option. That was actually what we were going to do until what happened a couple of days ago, just before we got here, which was that the new sighting in the sky happened and all of these creatures started falling to the ground. Now, our plans have changed, and we very much would like to get back to Miiva as fast as we can.
Because we want to help our city, our home.
He nods.
And if it's any constellation, I believe my name, my face is not on those wanted posts. And as you can see, we've done more good here than...
Zuza, what do you think? And okay. So Lumi, you probably would have noticed, because you're what's everybody's passive perception? Lumi's is stupid.
21.
Yeah. 14, 13. 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who am I missing? 12. All right. Eberkeet, you noticed the presence of somebody else in the room. Lumi, you saw a person, or you the person was invisible, but
heard their breathing.
Yeah, heard their breathing or something
Oh, that's where you're hiding.
Right, and they step from behind, not behind, beside where the door opened up. Another 40s, maybe 50 woman. She's wearing very simple clothes. She has a holy symbol. Hold on. I will remember my gods one of these days. She has a holy symbol of Zaib around her neck. And she goes, I believe they are earnest in their wishes. And I believe that they do not come here with the intent to harm, but they are an ill omen, and they bring ill omens in their wake. The river runs backwards, my lord. And it has almost since these people were in the city. So, do I trust them? Should you trust them? They're mercenaries. Give them a job. They'll do it, and they'll be gone. For those of you who don't know my setting, Zaib is the last goddess of winter. She is the goddess of trickery and tempest. Very, very long-suffering sigh. Very well. I don't need you to take care of every thing in the sewer, because there are people who live down there who are taking care of some of it, and my guards are taking care of others. But something large and dangerous inhabits one corner of this place that I would like you to remove. Or, I suppose, if it turns you into piles of dust as well, then that is another way out of my city.
So it turns people in piles of dust?
Seems to be the ultimate answer. People's, creatures, anything that seems hostile to it.
Nope, I don't know of such a creature.
Fair enough.
Did the not quite beholder we fought use its I-beams to pulverize things?
It sure tried, but you never saw it do that.
Then Lumi wouldn't know either.
Nope.
Well, then we just need a map or a play-by-play routing to the area where it is, and we'll go
He nods.
get it done.
Hand this to the guard outside the door. He knows what it means, and he hands you a closed and sealed letter. Or a closed and sealed. Basically, it's a sheet of paper folded and then sealed.
Will happily do. May Emberthorn smile upon your days.
May Zaib keep you amused, Zuza says, as you guys head out of the room.
No idea if that's Emberthorn's saying, just felt right.
I mean, you're kind of in charge of that a little bit. We can workshop. We can workshop.
Yeah, and he was kind of happy-go-lucky.
He was. right. The doors open without seeming help from an outside force beyond you. And there's a guard standing at the door, and is a troop of guards that are nonchalantly nearby. Completely nonchalantly nearby.
They just happen to have an exercise right outside the door.
Uh-huh. Just all kind of standing there.
Who took the letter?
The guard outside the door, and I'm guessing that's the one that's actually on guard outside
Right.
the door.
Well,
not the ones
he
that...
handed it to one of you. So
Yeah, but I'm handing it off to
you
the
Okay.
guard, standing guard, not the
right.
exercise guards.
He nods, breaks the seal, looks at it, and then closes it up and puts it into a pocket and says, "Please follow me."
We will do so.
All right. Perception check. Get more than a 20. Everybody, please. Doing a lot of perception checks. Yeah, Lumi. Oh, Elros as well.
I have a slightly greater than 50% chance to get over 20.
True Starity.
Nice building.
So, Elros and Lumi, as the door closes, you hear the start of a sentence. The first refugees will probably, and then the door clicks close and you can't hear the rest of it. It was barely audible before that. That was
The First Lord?
the First Lord's voice. All right. You guys are led out of this place. It is every bit as intimidating, beautiful, whatever you feel about this building. It is every bit as much that on the way out as it was on the way in. And you are led down a different set of stairs, through a different set of tunnel, or not tunnels, a different set of castles. But you arrive at basically the same gate and head out and goes, all right, it's in the city proper. It's going to be a bit of a hike. I hope you guys had a good breakfast. And he heads off at kind of a half jog, assuming that you're going to follow him.
We will sigh heavily, start plodding along, and then going into a half jog, like 5 lengths behind him or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, come on. Jogging? Kind of that mood from Illumi.
I'm just silently walking and looking at Lumi like, now we know how I feel.
So Zari and Cryer, you have no problem keeping up. For you, this is just normal pace. For everybody else, it is just that annoying, faster than a walk, but slower than your gentle, slower than your, if you actually put some effort into it, jogging. And so it's just kind of right on that edge of annoying. And it is a good, you guys are most of the way across town. You get to about ping this street over here, and the guy slows down and turns around and sees if you're still following him, because he hasn't looked back this entire time.
No, we're still following.
Okay. And he walks over to, there is a blocked off like storm drain grate, and behind it is a like manhole, large, probably bronze or copper manhole that has 2 guards on either side of it, and on top of it are piled like a bunch of head-sized stones. Look like probably construction material, wall building stones. And the guard who's been leading you here takes the letter out of his pocket, hands it off to the lady guard on the left, who reads it over and nods and goes, "All right, help me clear this off." And the guards start literally like one at a time lifting and moving stones, each weighing probably 80, 100 pounds. 50, 45 kilos.
Lumi isn't built for that kind of work, so I'm just
Roads will help out.
try the half comical flex showing nothing but
no muscles.
No muscles.
With you helping out, and Zari, I'm sure, is helping out as well. You guys set up a little, one person picks up, hands off stone to another person who sets it off to the side, sort of like almost bucket chain for the stones. And it's not very long until you've got this like lid cleared off. And the lady guard like takes out a wine pouch, drinks some water out of it. The other guard who was standing there before says, "Good luck." Yeah, good luck.
Yep, thank you. We'll let ourselves be known when we're ready to come back out.
Well, when the screams stop, we'll say a prayer for you. And you're not sure if he's joking.
I'm gonna lit my lantern while we go in.
All right.
Lumi will light his. The ball of fire in his hand.
Right. All right. Who is emitting what light? You guys come down a fairly rickety old wooden ladder. There's a couple of lamps or torches, probably like oil lamps, lit in here. Lumi, how much light are you emitting?
Bright 10, dim 10.
Bright 10, dim 10.
I'm just looking it up still. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
60-foot cone of bright light and an additional 60 dim light.
Okay, so bright light
in a cone.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
don't think if you can do that.
I don't think I can do that. Oh, directional light. Haha.
Ah, there we go.
So, directional light. Set the direction of light emitting from the token. 45 degrees center. That's 0. So, total size of the field of light. And then bright light 60, you said?
Yeah, 60-60. Bright and dim.
Okay. I hope that it works into a cone. All right. There is a pair of doors before you.
Also, I cast light on my dagger.
Okay.
And that's 20 bright, 20 dim.
Bright light, 20. Dim light, 20. Save. You guys are well lit.
Yeah, my light is might be here and sometimes off because I might be throwing the light.
Yeah, and I will just put the lantern down on the floor, maybe.
Right. Dynamic lighting. You have night vision, Elros.
I believe Risha does too.
Yeah, Risha should.
That is correct.
Can everybody see is the question. Yes.
Yes, I can.
Yes.
All right. Because it should be lit even if everybody else's light wasn't there. But yes. All right. Open the door, Lumi.
I open the door.
Okay. I'm gonna make myself a little darker so it's harder.
See a small hallway, which opens up into things.
Yep. So there is a fairly you guys see there's a narrow passageway on either side, and then there is a relatively rapidly flowing into the left direction water that's it's hard to know how deep.
I'm a step out here.
Okay.
See, smell and see the river of things.
Okay. Give me survival check, please. With a 15, you see a series of footprints heading off to the right. In the muck, seems to be more footprints going away from these doors than towards them, and there are also many more footprints heading towards the right than towards the left. Across the way, you see another door. It's probably, well, I guess
I see no door.
You see no door. Okay, so you're not quite within light range of it. All right. Heading
off that direction.
Heading off that direction. It continues on. Looks like probably a little bit further on, they crossed over the river. Trudging probably through the water with 15. Somebody may have seen over here, I'll just point it out, there is a door over there. Risha, it has a symbol on it that you recognize.
I see. Great. There is a walking plank over the water, and I see a door on the other side.
So Risha, there's a symbol on that door. That symbol is the no touchy symbol.
Yeah, nobody touch that door, please.
And I see two doors.
And this door, the other door on the left over here, has the same symbol again.
Okay. Well, we go to the other way then.
All right. You guys head down the path. This place smells musty, but doesn't smell terrible. You see a lot of dead rats with their brains exposed. Down here. And looking at the rats, you think the brain was exposed before it died? Because the wounds are not necessarily wounds of like somebody took the top of this thing's skull off. It's more they stabbed a thing and it's also its brain was exposed when they stabbed it. Arcana check. I believe it's Arcana for aberrations. Eberkeet. These were cranium rats.
Yeah, they sure were, weren't they?
Psychic little things. They tend to swarm up and become more powerful as there's more of them. Really uncommon. Sometimes in deep cave systems or similar, they will be around. Despite being, rats, they're relatively dangerous and surprising. They're surprisingly dangerous for such a small creature. All right, continuing to move down this place. Again, more footprints heading toward this direction than heading away from it. You guys get eventually to a large closed hatch over here. It is a fairly corroded bronze door with it's got some brass, like the hardware used to dog it is brass, and it's perforated, like to let water flow through, but not necessarily let creatures or whatever else go through. And there is like only about half of the hardware to close this is latched.
So it's reasonably openable?
Seems to be, yeah. Doesn't appear to be blocked.
Elros, mind giving me a hand?
Sure, and Elros will kick it in.
All right. Undoing the remaining hardware and giving the thing a solid kick. It's 5 of you heavy Elros, and so when you kick it, it swings a little bit, but it's like kicking a very heavy thing that is mobile. And the hinges definitely emit a loud, like, squeal when you do that. That it takes a few moments for the echoes to die back down. Coming through here, you find a small pile of dust on the ground. On one side of the pile of dust is a shield very similar to what the guards use, and on the other side of the pile of dust is a longsword similar to what the guards use here.
Well, that's odd.
Coming, guys?
Yep.
Right.
Seems reasonably safe so far.
Oh, is that where I went? Yeah. Okay, you guys continue on. Zari's kind of pulling up the rear. Place is like after that, you every once in a while you find another pile of fairly conspicuous dust because like most of the stuff here is wet, like moist, damp, and the pile of dust itself is not. Like it's dry, ashy material.
And how deep did you say this was? Did you say it was a couple of inches or a couple?
It's probably up to your thighs.
Barely, couple feet.
Couple feet deep. Not impassable and not likely to sweep you off your feet. But definitely would slow you down if you're in a rush. All right. As you guys continue on, in the distance, as the light comes around, you see another pair of doors over here that, again, have the symbol written on them that Risha recognizes.
So, Risha, what was up with these doors? You were saying something earlier.
Those are the guild's places. We don't go there.
Yeah, it's thieves' cant for do not enter. Those are the no-no squares.
This door over here is not marked with anything. But as you guys come around this corner, you hear a very deep voice say something in Elven. Do any of you speak
That's
Elven?
Greek to my ears.
Okay. And then say something, oh shoot, in Kartukian. Any of you speak that language? Tell me what languages you all speak.
Celestial, Druidic, Fey, and Sylvan.
Okay, none of those.
Orc.
Also not that one.
Just Feyan.
And
And common.
Common would be probably either Kartukian or the southern continent Ook. So pick one of the two.
Mainland.
So Kartukian. So you recognize the Kartukian very very deep voice. A little bit haltingly, like he's not quite sure the words say. We don't have to kill each other.
I relay that to the group.
You can leave me be and just leave.
We still have the candy.
You should.
So if we eat that, can we understand what it's talking so I can hand it out to the group?
Yes.
I'll hand out the candy so people can talk.
Okay, you guys had, I think, 50 of them. Somebody had
25.
25. Well, mark off 6. Or 5. 5, since you understand him.
Hey guys, so you can hear what I hear.
Yeah, I see what Serval was talking about. Yeah. So who know what now?
You.
I heard that deep voice. Oh.
You can just go.
Who are you?
Why do I never give the people I have talking names? Hold on. Do settings. I don't know. Create a name. Okay, so my name is Hot Shestaleth. Please leave.
See, there's a slight problem in that plan. While I would like to avoid killing, we're tasked with clearing, I'm guessing, you out of here. So you can't stay here.
Where's the voice coming from?
It's coming from. Oopsie, sorry. Down this hallway over here.
Okay.
Coming from just about everywhere.
It's
because
really echoey.
echo?
Yeah, it's really echoey. I do not wish to kill any more, but I will if you force me. This place is safe enough for me. No place on the surface is safe enough for me.
Well, we don't have to kill you, but you do have to move out then.
Move out to where? Where would you have me go now that you have drawn me here?
Well, to be fair, we didn't draw you here, but semantics, our people did.
Somebody did. I am here where I was not before. I no longer reside in my lair. Instead, I reside in this dark, damp, terrible hole. Please stop approaching, or we may not be able to come to an understanding. I have killed many of your kind. I do not wish to continue. Just leave me alone.
But what is your plan for food? What is your plan for not being detected? Because if we leave, they're gonna send more, and then we're gonna be the guys that broke their word. So you can't stay here.
This place is full of scum and fish. You're not 100% sure that the scum he's talking about isn't, like, there's some nuance to language there that probably scum implying unsafe people who aren't
scum and villainy instead of scum.
People who
dirt
wouldn't necessarily be missed by society. How about we go with that?
Well, I'd like to not kill. It's people disappearing, whether they're wanted or not, will raise suspicions. I'm sorry to say, but you can't stay.
Where will I go?
I'd like to say you could go to Haifa, about a week's travel to the west, and live up that town.
On the surface.
Oh,
Overland.
Yeah, travel is a thing.
You would have me stabbed by every creature that walks upon two legs to get from here to many miles distant. Find me a hole here, or find me a grave to bury you in. Leave me alone.
What you say, guys? I'm growing. This is just circle. He can't stay, but he won't go. So
Well, he has to go one way or the other.
how do you how is your ability to travel? Like, do you walk? Do you run? I'm not familiar with you. I can't see you.
Do you swim?
I
Fly?
fly.
Because traveling at night, off in the wilderness parts, would keep you safer than traveling by road.
Do I trust it that it doesn't want to kill?
Insight would be what to roll.
I guess I don't know.
Very echoey, hard to read.
It's really hard to read. Especially since you're not even speaking the right language. It's being magically translated.
Not for me.
Oh, well, okay.
But still.
It's really, you don't catch any obvious lies, but you can tell as you guys got progressively closer, the hostility has been going up. You really haven't heard any other thing than just the voice. Like, you haven't heard walking or splashing or anything else.
Well,
other than
it
your
told
friend.
us that it flies.
Yes.
So.
Can you guarantee safety to leave this place?
Now is the point of time where a map of the sewer system would be very handy, because it has to come out somewhere, which may or may not be heavily guarded.
We had a map, we just don't know if it's up to date.
I believe you do have a map. You got it from Tiasa, right?
Yeah. In the coffee bar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start looking at the map and trying to figure out from where we are, where would the closest river exit be? And would that correspond to a place in the city that's very well guarded?
So, the way the city is laid out, there's no the river doesn't flow through the city the same way it does in Haifa or Miiva. The river runs around the city, so the sewer system itself lets out above ground, near-ish the river, but not actually at the river. Or the other opportunity would be to there is a not high pressure, but a aqueduct system as well for drinking water flowing in from the lake. Both of those systems are marked on your map.
And then there's a guessing game whether it's high security, low security, no security, or just disaster one, DEFCON 1 at the moment.
So every place, at least in the city, every sewer entrance or storm grate or anything similar to that was guarded or had guards nearby. Like everything was relatively heavily guarded.
Yeah, but it's a guessing game whether there would be enough guards to guard all of those and the actual outlet, or whether they actually wanted to guard the outlet because
that's what do you think? You don't have any indication from anything.
Yeah, which is why it's a guessing game. Basically. Is that location is the outlet far from here? Is it like could someone go and check it out and be back in an hour or two?
Well, you guys are currently right about here. River outlet for this city is probably the nearest one is gonna be over here somewhere. So given that the sewers aren't necessarily straight and some of the doors are not you're not supposed to go through them, a couple hours would be pushing it. It would be easier to go back up to the surface, go across the city from the surface, and then go back to like find the outlet on the surface, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Unless you want to just literally scout the path there to find a path, but that's probably going to take even longer, perhaps.
On the surface, with my speed, like running 120, how long will it take? It's still probably like 2 hours, right?
Full on run for you, probably an hour. Like if you're movement action to like
no special ability.
No special abilities, but probably at least an hour, assuming you don't like get blocked from like run into something obstructing you, or nobody stops you from right. I pulled you back to the game map, right?
Yes.
Okay. Find me a hole.
Yeah, even if we get it out, we need to then transport it. Make sure it's safe. And we don't have the time for that.
Need to get to Miiva one way or the other as fast as we can. So
just take it with you. No, I'm kidding. Not seriously suggesting that.
I would love to, but I believe all the other bipedal things living on the surface would panic the second the voice, the source of the voice came up.
Mm.
Also, probably a good bunch of handfuls of dusts around pretty fast.
Can we see you? just to see what, if we're gonna take you home, what are we taking home?
There's a pause. You see a weird flicker of something, and then a floating orb covered in eyes comes around the corner, and any magical source of like Lumi, your hand goes out. Yeah, it should be well within 100. I think it's 120 feet. So the fire in your hand goes out. Oopsie. I believe everybody else's except for Eberkeit's light is non-magical.
I'm just oil lantern.
Oil lantern. So large, purpley flesh. Great big eye in the middle of it. A bunch of teeth. Looks vaguely familiar from a fairly recent fight, although that thing appeared to be both in pain and also really, really angry. This thing is really hard to read, but it has a bunch of eye stalks that are, some of them are waving around randomly and some of them are pointed at you.
Now, do I have a visual? Do I recognize it?
Arcana.
I'm really good at this. Screw it. Inspiration.
There you go. I was gonna say, I think you have it. +4 is really good Arcana. Uh, 19.
Might only be a +1 with proficiency.
So, Arcana, this is what's the aberration known as a beholder. They are incredibly powerful, generally very, like, everything that you have written about them scares you. They are intelligent creatures. They generally have a lair that they live in. They have many, like, their eyes can produce many magical effects, including one of them that will disintegrate its foes. The central eye, if it's gazing upon you, can prevent you from casting magic at it. And it also is just big and has sharp teeth as well, and is known to regularly eat anything alive that comes at it if it doesn't disintegrate at first. This one, unlike the last one you ran into, does not look injured and does not look angry in the same way, other than it seems to... Well, give me an insight check, everybody who can see it.
Well, my lantern is still up, so everybody should be able to see.
Well, not everybody's... Well, everybody might be pulled around the corner to actually see it. So, insight 21, Elros. This thing is 23 Lumi, 11 with Ibuki. So with 21 and 23, consternation is what you're reading off of this thing. It's not immediately hostile, but you can tell that hostility is a thing that it is willing to engage in. Yeah. It's floating just above the surface of the water. Doesn't appear to be at all disturbed by the water that's floating on.
It's growing weary of the chattering from these pitiful beings.
Yeah. You feel like it, with a 23, it's killed a bunch of people, and it doesn't feel like fighting. Is the only reason that it doesn't continue to fight. But it's not that it's not willing to fight. It's just fighting is annoying, and it would much rather be in a dark hole in the ground.
Yeah. This is it's hard for me to say because I generally would like to let people be, but it's not. If we leave you here, we're breaking our contract, which means we don't get back. You don't seem to be willing to travel because we can't find you a hole immediately. So, sounds like there's just one thing left to do, unless other people have anything they want to try.
Was there any way to cross nearby?
Oh,
To get on that side?
It's not through the water. You like, I think the last crossing was over here. A while back is what I'm saying.
Yeah, so even with my running speed, that would be, if we get into combat, a couple of rounds.
Uh-huh. I mean, mechanically, the water is difficult terrain.
Yeah, but I don't know how deep the water is. How fast is it flowing?
It's relatively fast, but it's like thigh deep, and so you don't think it would be dangerous enough to, like, you're not likely to get swept away by it or anything.
Okay. Then
Anyone else have any bright ideas?
I have one.
Go for it.
Ibriki, Lumi, could you guys go up a little bit? Right here? Like,
I think I will set down my lantern where I am at this point.
Okay, I will take the thing off of you and just add it to.
Do you want us to go back around the corner or go further down, or?
just away from this corner right here.
Like so?
Yes, thank you. And then Elros will run and jump the ledge. I just read the jumping rules and run at the beholder.
Hostile action?
Yep.
All right, so this is 60.
I think I'm the only person without range, so
60.
Depends on if the beholder's looking at me.
Yeah, all my ranged is magic. Unless you want me to throw a knife.
Okay, Cryor, I'm going to add this torch to your... see, edit. Control by Cryor. Save. I think you can edit that torch now. All right. So this torch here. That would be your lantern.
yeah, you tell me how far I get.
Okay. So it would be a athletics check to try to jump.
I read the movement rules, and it's based off of your strength modifier, or your strength modifier, but your strength score.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't take a check unless there's difficult terrain where you're landing, or if you're trying to jump over an obstacle.
Okay, so neither
if
of
you're
those
just trying
true.
to jump distance. There's no check.
It's a 15-foot. It's a 15-foot jump. So if you can standing jump, because you don't have a run up, if you can standing jump 15 feet.
Which would
Yeah,
require a strength
that
of
was
30.
that was why I got right here, and then I ran, this distance, then jumped. But I don't know if that's long enough.
No,
It
that's not long enough.
says-
So I'll let you take a athletics check to try to get extra distance on your leap. That's good enough. Yeah, you see Elros like plant a foot on the corner of the thing here and just sail his heavily armored, I think or mediumly armored self right over the gap, landing on the other side. And then yeah, everybody please roll me initiative. Oh jeez.
Jeez.
All right. Oops, I should probably roll for... Can somebody roll? Actually, I can't roll for Zari. Nope. Oh, you rolled for Zari?
Zara rolls a 9,
Zari rolls at 9. All right.
apparently. No idea how to get her in the
I can
initiative
add her.
counter.
9. There we go. All right. Sorting from descending. At 346, you guys feel the effect of this thing's central eye beam as Elros leaps into action. And
Sorry, you need to resort because it took the 9 as mine, and mine was an 18.
There you go.
There we go.
So you guys, despite not having a surprise in this thing, still are going to manage to go first. So at this point, we are going to go ahead and call it there. Thank you to my players for playing. Thank you to my watchers for watching. It has been great having you here. Bye.